Next thing we have to do is to add back or make our dart replacements. So the dart intakes we did on the waistline, underbust, and the upper chest line. So now we're going to on the neckline, we're going to add them back, because if you don't well, try them out to see for yourself. Try it out. So now I have 2 inches here. I will go ahead to add back my 2 inches here. I also have 2 inches here. Remember, look, so you see I have 2 inches here. So add back my 2 inches, and I have 1.5 inches here. 0.5 plus 0.75 gives us 1.5. All right, so I'll just go right ahead to connect. Right, so we are done with the front bodies. So the last thing to do is to add the band. Remember that this is a three piece corset, so it is going to have a band then with the 2 pieces below. So from this point I want to just go down by 1 centimeter. So I have, okay, this ruler isn't good, so you could actually use half a centimeter, or you could use 1 centimeter, or you could even go up, so depends, your choice. So I used 1 centimeter here. 1 centimeter is equivalent to it's not up to 0.25 inches though. So I have one here. I have 1 centimeter here. Remember I came up by half an inch here. That is okay. So on this point I'll also go up by 1 inch. So there are different ways you could do this. You could actually mark from this point. You just mark down 1.5, right? Once you mark down 1.5, from this point you just go up by half an inch, and from here you also want to mark down 1.5 from this point. So you mark down wherever point you have your 1.5. Then you want to place the curved part of your rule, and then you make your curve, right? So from this point I'll make a curve. So this is I made it this way because I want this band to be really big. If you don't want yours to be really big, I want it to be like really not as big as mine, then you should get yours around here and make your band your choice. So I'll go ahead to connect from this point to, oh sorry, I used my pen. So here, and this point. So this will be one band, this will be the second one, and this will be the center front. Now I'm practically done, but to cross check, I just want to cross check something. So remember that I haven't added any allowance. I'll go ahead to add it. You can actually add your allowance on your fabric, or that is straight on your fabric when you place your fabric, or you can place another paper, add your allowance, and then you place on your fabric. Sometimes when you use a curve to connect the lines you made on the neckline to connect down to the bust point, especially when you use a curve, as I said earlier, it makes this the neckline part not equal. The 2 curves, it makes it not equal. So I was just trying to check if it was equal, so I'd know if I should add in some paper through blending, or I'll just go ahead to cut. So that was what I was checking, and it was okay. I went ahead to join the 2 pieces to form the band for the corset. Remember, it is a 3-piece corset and not a 4-piece corset. So these are my 2 upper piece. I put them together to form 1 piece. So if you're cutting your fabric straight ahead, place on your fabric and then begin to add your half seam allowance. So subsequently I'll make a video on how to sew using the same pattern. I'm not sure when, honestly, but hopefully I will. So now let's go to the back bodies. So the back, my half an inch. Also just making a standard neck back neckline, just for, as I said, this is really beginner friendly, so that to be understood. I remember that I do not actually need this part, so it's really simple to make. So okay. Oh, I used 8 inches rather than 7, so just assume I'm using 7.5. Just assume I used 7.5 on these places. So the next thing I will do is on this upper chest line, I went ahead to mark my bust circumference, and then you mark for your waistline, saying this point. So I have this end to make my waistline, so I'll mark a quarter of my waist circumference. Go ahead to make a line. Notice that I didn't add any zipper allowance or opening allowance. My upper chest line and my waistline here. So these are just what I need. I do not need the bust point and the under bust point and all of that. Remember, I don't need this place. Remember that it is also strapless, sleeveless. It doesn't have any upper part. It doesn't have a yoke. And I do not have an opening allowance. Remember, this is a corset. So if you want to make a lacing bar or you want to lace it at the back, you would not need it, because you're going to be lacing, right? So we don't need an allowance for that. So, and if you don't want your skin to show, remember that you can also create a modesty panel. I'll make a video on that. So for my dart, I'll also go ahead to mark the same 4 inches I marked for the front bodice. So I have the 4 inches here. I'll connect this bolt with the line, and then rather than marking, remember I used 1 inch on both sides. I'd rather use 0.75 on both sides and connect up to this point. So remember that I went down by 1 inch remember, so I went down by an inch on the front bodies. So that will be same with this. So I went down by an inch, so this will serve as the neckline, right, for the side. So it means this line is the start of the bustier. So you could go ahead to cut using this line, or you could want to use this line, or you could slant the line or curve, so that you'd have a fancy neckline. So you could make a curve, or you could make a slant. So you could make whatever choice you want. When you've made your dart, you measure what you have. I have 1.5. I'll add it back and draw a line meeting it. By the time I take this part in, here will fill in this place. I mean, everything will just come down to come back to normal. So I might want to go in by half an inch. Alright, so now for the looping, if you want to make your loop, you could go ahead to mark 2 inches, and then you cut out that 2 inches, and then you begin to loop. Then the beauty would come out more. But because I don't want the skin to show, even if I'm going to be looping it, I'm going to add in a modesty panel, I'm going to leave it this way. So for you, if you like, you can just mark in 2 inches, or even from this 4 inches, you could cut out from this 4 inches you have here already. Then your looping, that is the lacing you'd have, will start from this part to the other back piece, right? So this is it for it. Just when you place on your fabric, to go ahead to add your seam allowance. So this is your back bodice. You want to label here center front, and here side front. So these are your 2 side front pieces, and you need 2 pieces of this, and in fact you need 2 pieces of all this. This is your back, this is your back, this is B, center back rather, and side back. So this is for the back, so you need 2 pieces of each of them. So remember, we placed on fold, so that is why I am specifying that you need 2 pieces. So you can place on your fabric, and when you're cutting, you add your seam allowance. So that is just it. That's just it for this process. So if you have any question, you can ask. Please like, share, subscribe, and watch. I hope you watch to the end to hear me say this. All right, bye bye.